Hey everyone, this is Jack from Victory Camera, and today I'm in the field with the awesome Fuji GSW690 Mark II. This is one of Fuji's medium format rangefinders that are affectionately known as Texas Leicas. This is partially because they look like a husky M3, and partially because of their excellent optical performance. This 65mm lens is tack sharp across the huge 6x9 negative. Their lighter weight and pleasant ergonomics make these cameras a great 6x9 option for shooting in the field or out on the street. Fuji made several of these medium format rangefinders, starting with the GW690 in 1978. They're all based around the earlier GL690, but they don't have interchangeable lenses. Instead, the GW cameras have a normal 90mm f3.5, and the GSWs, like this one, have a 65mm f5.6. I personally love a wide angle, so the GSW caught my eye. If 6x9 is too big or too expensive for you to shoot, you can find 6x7 versions of the GWs, as well as a 6x8, which I think was released only in Japan. These smaller format cameras are virtually identical to the 6x9 counterpart, except they have smaller film gates and different gearing to account for the different frame sizes. These cameras are appealingly simple. They don't have interchangeable lenses or backs, for better or worse. You've got your shutter release and winder on top here, as well as a front-mounted shutter release which has a lock. The frame counter is on top, as well as a switch to go between different lengths of film rolls, though you'll probably only be using the 8 exposure 120 setting. There's no internal light meter, so you'll have to use your own, and therefore there's no way to set ISO on the camera body. Shutter speed and aperture are controlled on the lens barrel, and these controls are covered up by the attached hood when it's retracted. On the bottom, you have these 2 spool releases for loading and unloading the film, as well as a shutter counter, which counts in increments of 10. Apparently, these are very easily tampered with, so just be aware of that when you're buying. The main difference between this Mark II and the Mark I is a hot shoe replacing the cold shoe, strap lugs on both sides instead of on just one, and different knurling on the grips. The focus is super smooth and really easy with a big, bright, rounded rangefinder reticle, and we've got this middle window to brighten things up in there. Overall, I loved shooting with this camera. It's really simple to use and gives you great results. If you haven't shot 6x9 before, I think you'll fall in love with the massive negatives and that almost large format angle of view. As long as you're comfortable with metering, this camera just gets out of your way and lets you make great images. Ironically, they were designed with a sort of lowbrow utilitarian function in mind, like shooting tourist groups in front of a fixed background all day long. But that means they were built to be really tough and reliable, and you can still find them in great shape even today, decades after they were released. My only issue with this camera is the hood. You can't change aperture or shutter speed without the hood being pushed out, but it also won't lock in place, so it just sort of jiggles around there. I wish it could be removed, but it is helpful to have on the wide-angle lens, and ultimately it's a small price to pay for such a great camera. Head over to victorycamera.com to check out this Fuji GSW690 Mark II, as well as a few other Fuji 6x9s and a ton of other cool stuff we've got in stock. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.